Okay, so this is titled Sugar Daddy Meet Up. Okay, so here's how it all went down. I meet him at Starbucks. He bought me a drink. He's nice, pretty attractive, wears Dockers and loafers and a polo shirt. We sit at Starbucks and have awkward conversation about traveling. Then he's all, can we go outside? I'm like, sure. So we go outside and he's like, that guy sitting behind you was listening to every word we said. So can we go take a drive in the AC to have a private conversation? And unthinkingly, I'm like, sure. So we get into his nice BMW and he just launches right into it. He's all, I'm married and have teenage boys and my wife just doesn't want to have sex with me anymore. I was a little shell-shocked from how he just went right into it. So I'm all, oh, that sucks. And he's like, yep, so I have to find sex elsewhere. I'm like, okay, does she know? He says, no, it's a don't ask, don't tell. And he wants to stay in the marriage to be there for his boys. I'm like, okay. Then he just goes right into asking me questions. So your profile says you have a high sex drive. Mental fucking note to tone down the sex in my profile. Holy shit. And I'm non-committal, like, oh yeah, kinda. So he's like, what position is your favorite? Do you like oral, anal? What experience have you had before? Etc. And in my head, I'm like, whoa, holy shit, slow down, Jesus Christ, you're freaking me out. So I'm barely looking at him and just drinking my Starbucks Frappuccino and being like, oh my God, oh my God. Then he busts out, are you shaved? And I scornfully say, no, I don't have time to maintain that shit and I don't like being totally bare. And then my brain catches up and I'm like, did you just fucking ask me that? Fucking Christ, I met you like 20 minutes ago. So then I'm like, fuck, I'm in a car with him, I can't deal, so I'm all, I have to get back. I have a meeting somewhere at 3:15, which was a total lie, but I'm exhausted from hanging out with friends last night until 2 and babysitting from 8 to 1. So he's like, oh, really? That's a shame. I was hoping we could check each other out and give each other a spin today. And I'm like, nope, sorry. Then he says, well, I have to tell you, I have a small dick. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, it's 6 inches. And I'm like, okay. Freaking out! And then he asks if I live alone, and I unthinkingly say yes. And he's like, so can I come to your place sometime? And I tell him the truth, that I'm really not comfortable with anyone coming over. And so he says, well, I can definitely get a hotel room, and I'll give you the money. It just has to be in your name, because I can't have a paper trail. Which makes sense. And I'm like, okay, but my inner monologue is like, what the fuck, oh my god, what the fuck. So then, as he's taking me back to Starbucks, he's like, so how much are you looking for? I'm like, well, since I'm new to this, have you done this before? What did you do? And he said he's had 2 sugar babies before, and every time they met, he's given them $300, which is great. And my mind immediately calculated that if I slept with him 3 times in the next 2 weeks, I'd have August rent paid for, which is something that I'm worried about. And money to spend in Texas. Although, to be honest, I think that $300 to sleep with me is a little low. I'm 26 and cute and awesome. I try for $500 or more. Anyway, so what do you think? I think he was crazy direct. Although I can't totally fault him on that because this sugar daddy thing is, after all, about money and sex. Jesus, I don't even know what to do. I wasn't attracted to him, but that's because I'm really, really tired and I don't like older guys, and he came on so fast. I didn't really have time to assess him, and I'm actually really totally freaking out. Thank God I have nothing to do today but hang out and nap. Updates. It's a day later. And I'm clearly really upset. What the fuck was I thinking? It's clearly a power issue. If you hadn't come on that strong, I might have gone for it. But sitting there talking about sex and asking me questions about pubic hygiene made me feel powerless, and I can't deal. I guess this lifestyle isn't for me after all.